It's late Friday afternoon and quitting time is just around the corner. Bright clear day is giving way to a still tempered evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans for their evenings and weekends, but you're really looking forward to just going home and resting after what's turned out to be a very long and taxing work week. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of your mutual friends are heading out to a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week, and they want to know if you'd like to come along. You tentatively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week. When you're emotionally exhausted from the work week, you're okay, fuck it. A social outing like that would just take too much up. The idea of a social outing is to relax. The people you can consider friends, you don't need to keep your guard up around them, you know? There are people that will judge you, but you won't give a fuck about their judgment because you judge them too, but you're close enough so that judging each other doesn't result in any type of negative consequences. That's what it means to be somebody's friend. If you're going out with people whom you don't feel like that towards, then you're not going out with friends. Oh, this is sad. This is very sad. This is sad on a whole new level. Because the writer thinks this, and we know that the character in this is a woman. You know, it's obvious that the character is is female. Oh, and it's sad because for females, interacting with friends is taxing. The best friend a woman can have is a man, because interacting with a man is not taxing. The worst friend a man can have is a woman, because interacting with women is taxing. But this is just retarded. Going out is not the same thing as work. It doesn't drain you emotionally because you don't need to have your emotional defenses up. You encourage her to go and have a good time since you know it's been a while since she's gone out with friends. But the effort feels futile since you know that she isn't going to go without you. A couple hours later, the two of you find yourself in a familiar position on the couch watching comedy shows on Netflix. Of course. Actually, that may very well be better because, you know, if you're in a relationship, ladies, relationship, the SS relationship. Nobody watches Netflix with their significant other. Netflix is what you have on, well, fucking. So, if they fuck this up, I don't know what it says after that, but if it turns out they really are watching just shit on Netflix, then fuck you, you deserve to be depressed. Both of you, both the character and Alex deserve to be depressed. A box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel about you feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight again. While you're always appreciative of your partner's efforts to take your feelings into account and help make sure you're socially comfortable, you sincerely worry that you're holding her back from enjoying a more fulfilling relationship, which is what no man has ever thought. You're holding her back from having a more fulfilling relation. If she's not feeling fulfilled from this relationship, she can fuck right off, you know? That's how relationships work. You don't feel fulfilling, you're not fulfilled, fuck off. Where? And this is how we know this was not only written by a woman, it's written as a woman. The character is homosexual, female, they are a lesbian couple, which is okay, but if that's what, that would be sad. If that's how lesbian couples do it, or maybe I'm wrong here, and it's not that they are lesbians, but the game is trying to say that you can't enjoy your relationship correctly because you're depressed. On the other hand, not being able to enjoy your relationship is depressing. So this one is weird. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you, shocker, as the two of you sit in comfortable, almost contented silence watching old shows you've each seen 2 or 3 times before, your ever increasing fear that your relationship is becoming one-sided weighs more and more heavily on you. You feel more than ever like a burden on or a ward to her, and it's virtually impossible for you to see what value you could possibly offer to her in return. Well, that's an easy solution. You can always go down, like right now. This is the advice I will give to any depressed person that is watching this video and is feeling like that. Whenever you feel like you're sort of weighing down your partner and that whenever you're worried that your partner's experience with you is lacking in any way, just suck on your partner, whatever. If it's a man, woman, whatever it is, just, go down. Everybody enjoys a good tonguing. Tonguing. I know how to. Everybody enjoys their genitalia being licked. So just do that. What's the problem with that? Just do that and you won't feel guilty that you're ruining the relationship. This is some pretty basic shit. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you, it's virtually impossible for you to see what value you could possibly offer in return, so suck her off. Worst of all, this nagging fear has made you feel more self-conscious than ever, withdrawing ever inwards. And you've started to pull away even from Alex herself. What do you do? Ask Alex if she's happy with your relationship. Of course. You look over to Alex, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet, and you try to parse the expression on her face, instead of just asking, what's up, babe? What's up? You worry that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance? Okay, we're about to get emotional here. Emotional? You wonder if she's thinking about all of the fun things she could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you, ordering from one of the same free takeout places that you always order from. A sense of disappointing her creeps over you as you picture what the night could have been if you had just accepted the invitation she had made earlier. I know this is a pretty boring Friday night for you. Are you really happy being with me? Being like this? Is that how you bring up the subject? Is that really the best way to say this? If you want to figure, this is, are you really happy being with me? This is a loaded question. You're not asking the question to find out how she's feeling. You're asking the question in a way to make yourself feel better. If you were really worried about this girl, you wouldn't ask the question like that. You wouldn't ask the question as to get some sort of personal yes, this is the worst way. She turns to look at you, forehead wrinkled. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from yours just a little. Because she's trying to get up and look at you. It's not that she's pulling back. Well, maybe she's pulling back. Well, I mean, you start but are unable to try and think of how to answer. And no, it's not what you'd usually be up to. I don't know, I guess I get kind of worried that you're getting bored sometimes. And never mind. Saying never mind is the worst thing you can say. I know it's not what you'd usually be up to. It's a bad idea. I don't know, I guess I get kind of worried. But this is so centered. I want to make sure I'm right for you. Would be a dumb answer. I'm glad this one is crossed out because it's stupid. It's probably silly, but it's reassuring when I hear that we're on the same page. This is a shit. This would be a shit response too. I shouldn't have asked. I should have kept my fucking mouth shut. Yeah, I know it's not what you'd usually be up to, like going to a bar and sucking off strangers in the toilet, you whore. Look, if that were the case, I would let you know. I don't think you're boring, you're more of a homebody than I am. I'm learning how to deal with that. How to deal? Deal with it? You think? Repeating it. Yes, yes. Congratulations. One time this game just nails it. Deal with it? Deal with it? Just deal with it? You know what? You can deal with it through the front door, you little skank. Dumb bitch, dealing with it? You should be happy to be here, not dealing with it. If you're dealing with it, it's pointless. You're not supposed to be dealing with it. Did she see you as a problem to be dealt with? There you go. The first fucking time this game nails it. This is the first actually human. This is the first time I have seen, the character as actually human, as an actual person. You try to pick her reply apart in your mind, and all of your conclusions lead to your previous worry that you're holding her back. Maybe you are holding her back. Tell her to fuck off. Fuck off, like go away. You try to pick her. I'm probably an abusive bastard, and that's how I treat women, If you don't like it, fuck off. And she's crying, but I love you. And I say, yeah, but I don't love you. And if you don't like it, deal with it. Okay. You try to pick her reply apart in your mind, and all of your conclusions lead to your previous worry. You begin thinking that the phrasing was chosen without too much deliberation, which is right. And that despite her attempts at reassuring you, this slip of her tongue revealed her true feelings. As you picture how much fun she would be having right now if you had only accepted her invitation and managed to somehow get over your reservations and anxieties that don't exist, you fake depressed bastard. Despite not knowing how you would go about that by just putting one foot in front of the other and going to the fucking pub. You dumb cunt. She goes back up to you. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for putting up with me. She sighs in response. I'm still not sure if the character is actually depressed, but I'm getting depressed reading about it. So, Depression Quest. If you want to get depressed, just play this game. It's a breezy Sunday afternoon. You've allowed Amanda, an old friend from school that is in town for the weekend, to talk you into leaving the house for coffee and catch up. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since you've last seen each other. And you can't help but feel like they are a lot more accomplished and interesting than you are while listening to them talk about their life after school. When it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and give a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe it, despite her expressing sincere interest in you and your life. Amanda has known you long enough to read your mood and tone of voice. She leans in to ask a question while gently touching your hand. A look of genuine concern on her face. What's wrong? Do you? Insists that nothing is wrong and change the subject. Defensively ask what she means by that. Notice that your hands are shaking. Are my hands shaking? Okay, I would insist that nothing is wrong because I don't see anything that tragically wrong with the character. But I imagine that on the next page it will spin into some sort of crazy denial. Defensively ask what she means by that is worse, not sure why. I'm going to go with notice your hands are shaking, because if there really is a real, like, psychological pathology here, which is a way of saying if we really are depressed, maybe this option here will lead us along the path of actually seeking help, because depression is no joke. It's just that I don't see any of it here right now, but we're going forward with notice that your hands are shaking. Oh my god. It's such a small question, but it feels like a blow to the gut. As if a woman would know what a blow to the gut feels like. You've never been punched, you bitch. You surprise yourself when you realize that your tightly clenched fists are now beginning to shake slightly. Despite your best efforts, you feel tears begin to sting at your eyes. You try to disguise this by tilting your head up and praying that they'll suck back. No, that's not how. That's not how tears work. They're going out. You know. She suggests that you two get out of there and you feel mortified. She offers to go back to your apartment. Yeah! With you, but the two of you end up talking in her car for 2 hours as the words just pour forth from you. So that was a good choice. Amanda seems unsure of what to say at times, but she listens and rubs your back as you sob and talk. She asks if you've gone to a doctor. Yeah, I knew this would lead that way. No, because it's basically predictable. You know, I'm I I haven't played this before, so I don't know if taking any of the other options would have led to a different result. And it's a first playthrough, so I don't care. I'm just taking it as it comes. Amanda seems unsure of what to say at times, but she listens and rubs your back as you sob and talk. She asks if you've gone to a doctor about this, and you admit that you haven't. She mentions that her mother is seeing a very good therapist in town and offers to ask her about it. You're not thrilled about the idea of going to a therapist, and even less thrilled that Amanda might be telling someone about your problem. But she persists and tells you she'll email you the doctor's contact information later in the week. Now, I feel compelled to say this. If you have a friend and you suspect that they may really be depressed, emailing them the contact of a therapist is okay. But you can't just send them the email, because if they are actually depressed and things are actually bad, they will not contact the therapist. They will need a push. So we'll see if that happens. It's glaringly sunny Monday, and one of the few days that you bother Malcolm is on that your brother. Fuck me. And one of the few days that your brother Malcolm is in town and free long enough for you two to actually see each other. You have a dental appointment. That dental appointment. You should go to a shrink. You have a dental appointment. It's not gonna fix your head. You have a dental appointment that day, but you make plans for him to pick you up afterward. Your appointment takes a little longer than expected because your dentist tells you that you've started grinding your teeth in your sleep to a worrying degree. Given how nearly everything in your life has been feeling enormous and stressful lately, this doesn't come as a surprise to you. Or maybe you have worms, you have some sort of parasite in your gut and that's making you. Okay. And says the children don't stressful lately. This doesn't come as a surprise to you. He suggests that you try to reduce your stress level. So go get checked for parasites and fits you for a night guard. Night guard. It feels a little awkward having something in your mouth while sleeping. Too big for your mouth. Is what I say though, ladies. And you feel embarrassed looking at your puffed out face in the mirror with it in. You finish up the appointment in a hurry and leave about a half an hour overdue for meeting your always punctual brother in the parking lot. You finish up as quickly as possible and leave the building to scan the parking lot for your brother's car, but you don't see his old Civic anywhere. You pass. Then he goes somewhere to like work a high paying job. His old Civic. He's driving an old Civic. He's working a you pass by a blue he has a blue Camaro and you're a fucking failure. You're working your 9 to 5, just barely scraping by, and your brother has a blue Camaro and jump as it beeps at you, causing you to jump in surprise. It takes you a moment to realize it, but it's Malcolm in the driver's seat because you're so not the favorite child anymore. I'm telling you, your father certainly loves your brother more than he loves you because he's gonna get to drive that Camaro. Is it Camaro? Isn't it Camaro? What the? Okay, fuck it. If it's a nice car, your father definitely loves your brother more than he loves you. You're the failure of the family. You hop in the passenger seat and compliment him on his new ride. Nobody says ride anymore. It's not the fucking 90s. So, no. It's his new car in great shit. And he mentions that it's a perk of promotion he's recently obtained at work. He starts telling you about how much more money he's making, how his career is really taking off, and how he's starting to look at houses with his wife soon. And you feel like you would rather be ran over. Fuck. You clutch the bag containing the night guard in your hand and feel yourself clench your teeth as you think of your crummy apartment and how long it's been since you've been able to take a day off work without having to worry about making ends meet. He's only 2 years older than you, but he's not a fucking failure. But it feels like he's eons ahead of you in every other aspect of your lives. So he asks, how did your appointment go? Did you get drilled full of holes or what? A sense of shame creeps over you. Tell him about your tooth grinding problem, but not the stress causing it. Okay. The dentist said I'm apparently grinding my teeth too much when I sleep. Oh, Malcolm replies, been stressed out lately, kiddo. Which is a acceptable response. Deciding that you don't really want to go into it, you tell him that you don't think that that's the case and it's probably just a random thing like parasites can make you lose teeth at night. He doesn't pry further and instead begins reminiscing with you about the time you chipped the baby too because he accidentally knocked you over once. You go out for dinner and catch up on things, but you still feel somewhat distracted by the gnawing anxiety in the back of your mind. Though you enjoy your brother's company, you still feel like you want nothing more than to go home and hide from the world tonight. It becomes hard for you to try to stuff all of your horrible feelings down and go emotionless when someone like the dentist can see a fraction of what goes on inside your head. It leaves you feeling embarrassed and weak, and you hate yourself for feeling that way. Well, okay, you wonder if you're really fooling anyone into thinking you're a normal person, and then you wonder if your brother knows and is hanging out with you out of pity tonight. Because the whole fucking world revolves around you. After he drops you off back at your apartment, you throw the night guard out. You dumb bitch! You're gonna break all your teeth. The doctor gives you a night guard for your fucking face. Just use it, okay?